And we are live. What's up, everybody? It's been a while. It's your buddy Rob Crane, and yeah, trying to get back in the saddle, get back on the interwebs, say hi to all my good people, my friends, family, everybody that's rooted me on through the years when it comes to the fishing game. It's been a roller coaster over the years, and we'll get into that a little more here in a little bit. And we'll also get into what my plans are this year and in the future. We'll talk about some fish stories of past. We'll show off some lures. I'm going to bring in a special guest today, Mr. Ray Larson with Razor Custom Tackle. Me and Ray, we've been competitors with one another for quite some time. Been, I don't know, probably close to a decade, I guess. And we've had some good derbies where we both done good, and we've had some top tens together, and or just outside and he make it, or I'm just outside and he makes it. We've had some fun over the years, and they're making some real good products over there at Razor. So we're going to show off a couple of those baits, and if you guys tune in, Mr. Ray may even do a little giveaway. What's up, Mr. Alan Gray, the man? All right, let me see if I can bring Mr. Ray in here. Bam. Hold on. We'll see if we can even get up close and personal here. Look at there. You're centered, Ray.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
It's been a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see you for a little bit at the fishing show, but it was a zoo there, and I had my little ones. Whew.
Right.
They about got trampled.
Quiet. Yeah, last year did not run into you a little bit.
Yeah, man. I just past year kind of took a little hiatus on everything, man. I just kind of had to decompress and collect my thoughts and get back to just having fun with fishing because I got burnt out.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to do, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a diehard bass fisherman. I don't care if it's a stream, lake, river, pond, the ocean. I want to catch fish. I just what's in me. And both my little guys, man, they got the same thing in them. I mean, I may have had something to do with that, but hey.
Oh, absolutely. I see their passion for sure.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I mean, the little guy, he's 3. He casts all by himself. He gets mad if I try to do it for him. Carter, he's 7 now. He was the same way. And Carter,
that's awesome.
He's getting this summer. He'll be 8 years old. He's getting his first bait caster. That's when I started. Was 8 years old with bait casters. Just bring them right down the line. And here by the time he's 20, he'll be putting a whooping on old dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fine by me. What's up, Lee Booker? How's it going, man? Let me show you guys real quick on my personal page because I know we're going live right now simultaneously on YouTube and on my Facebook fishing page, Rob Crane Fishing. So I'm going to share that so the people who are on my personal page can see. Okay. Now my phone's trying to talk to me. All right. So yeah, if you guys are in here, everybody say hello. We'll give everybody a shout. So Ray, man, tell me about Razor. When did this start? Obviously the past couple of years you're growing, and all the baits I've seen, I like them.
Yeah, I think it started in the year of 2020 during COVID. I thought to myself, we're going to go ahead and start a website. And so January of 2021, we sort of launched Razor Custom Tackle.
Yeah.
So that was when we decided to really start pushing things. Previous to that, it was like everybody else, small tackle companies, right? Making them for your friends, sell them out of your truck at tournament sites and stuff.
Right.
So actually, I've been doing this for years, making our own products. And then now we're sort of launching it out a little farther.
I want to say years ago, we might have been at a tournament. I may be mistaken. I think I needed some shaky heads or some wobble heads or something. I think you may have had some. See, you had a pre-tournament meeting or something, and everything was sold out. I can't remember, but you hooked me up one year, and I was appreciative.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, Rob, right here, our half-ounce shaky head. I mean, Lake of the Ozarks is this is the deal,
Oh,
right?
straight tail worm with,
Yeah,
green pumpkin. On Lake of the Ozarks, I'll do a little purple flake. I'll do a little gold flake, or just straight green pumpkin. Let it rip,
right.
you know. Table rock too. That's a dynamite bait. I just like to downsize it a little bit there. Basically anything for that matter.
Right. Well, I think, like a lot of things, Rob, I mean, just like you, everything we sort of make, it's stuff I'm making for myself, and, it's stuff that I want to use, right? I mean,
Right.
a good example is our net heads. I started fishing the Michigan BFLs, fishing
Mhm.
that St. Clair and Detroit River. So much current in the spring, that's what I wanted to come up with a half-ounce net head with
Right.
eyes, with the gobies, and it's really been a good seller for us.
Just something that's going to get deep, with the same presentation. Yeah, these Neds are pretty cool. I bought some of the big ones. These ones are 3/8,
You're right.
but I mean, little bitty hook, got the
And we'll
keeper on
do,
there.
I'll fish that early on in the season, half, and then as it gets into August or whatever, and then I'm going back to a quarter because you got the grass coming up and everything else, and the current lightens
Right.
up a little bit. So,
Hmm.
I don't get real crazy, just quarter, 3/8, and half on the net heads,
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I mean,
and then we,
when it comes to shallow, I like, they want the slow fall. I like the super light ones, the 1/10s and stuff like
right,
that.
oh, absolutely.
But when it's deep water, yeah, for sure.
And let's face it, there's so many of them different 110 brands out there. We're just sort of
I know.
specialized in, here's we started doing this. This is our quarter-inch Ned with our little razor crawl.
Yeah.
This thing will just catch fish all, you know what I mean? And we sell this in a little 2-pack. We just started doing that for the shows this year, and that's really been a good seller for us.
Oh yeah.
People are liking the, pre-packaged, ready to go.
Yeah, I had another bag of baits from you that I really like. These little guys. These are the skitter worms.
Oh yeah.
These guys are little 4.5-inch baits.
Yeah,
As soon as
no,
I seen this, said this would be awesome for like drop shot, bubba shot. I mean, you could Carolina rig these little dudes in
oh, absolutely.
clear water scenarios. I like doing like little baby Carolina rigs. What I'll do a lot of the time. Here's a tip for you co-anglers out there. What I'll do a lot of the time, if I ever tie on a Texas rig, no matter what the bait is, say I got a 1/4 ounce head on it or 3/8, half ounce, whatever it is, tungsten, bullet weight. I'll get bobber stops and I'll put at least usually one at the bottom, as long as the weight's not too heavy, one underneath the weight between it and the knot, and then I'll put one above it. So we're fishing along, whatever, flipping, and next thing you know, I just grab that weight, slide it up the line, and chuck it. Now I got a little baby Carolina rig tied on.
Absolutely, Rob. I do the same thing. It's a great trick.
Oh
Here,
yeah,
I thought I was the only one doing it.
Nah, man. I'll tell you a story. I had a guy flipping docks on Lake of the Ozarks with shaky head, ball shaky head. I think it was 1/4 ounce, and a trick worm, green pumpkin trick worm, and he was skipping his. I won't tell the guy's name, but he's a stick on Lake of the Ozarks. Great dude. That's my buddy. Shout out to him. If he remembers this is probably back in 15 or 16. But anyway, he was skipping it. He was really good at skipping, like real good. And he's picking everything apart on the docks to where I was just like fan casting and throwing moving baits and stuff, trying to catch different fish than he was. Well, I had a Texas rig on, I had a jig on, whatever. I picked up a Texas rig, did exactly that, slid it up the line, and I had a beefier weight on there, and I started dragging it. Like I would get between two docks, feed the line out as he's moving. He'd go around the dock, and I'd kind of keep the line out, get that line fluorocarbon underneath the dock.
Right.
And go around dragging it underneath the dock, like to where he couldn't even skip. And you can only do it with floating docks, of course. Next thing you know, I caught a few of them behind him. He's like, "What the hell is all this Carolina rig in your docks?"
That's exactly right, Rob.
Trick, I like it. What's up?
Yeah, especially at Lake of the Ozarks. Obviously the fish are related to the docks, but I feel that them Lake of the Ozark fish, you're going to catch them behind, in front, in the side. They're just everywhere on the docks, and people just key in certain areas, but you can catch them.
Yeah, I mean, one day they'll be sitting on the corners. Yeah, you'll be sitting on the corner, hitting the corners, and they're just sitting right there on the corners, throwing a square bill by them, or one day you have to get in the backs of them, I mean, they position on different areas of docks, and if you can find productive dock position, you just figure out the win and success of Lake of the Ozarks,
Right.
I mean, there's been times where you had to go 3/4 the way back of the cut, and those were the productive docks on the side of the lake. So if you could replicate that, and I've done it, I've had some good finishes in the back of the boat on Lake of the Ozarks. I've had some heartbreakers where I should have won tournaments on that lake. It's amazing to me that I have not won one of them Toyota tournaments because I've come so close. And there's just so many just not fishing clean and things coming off. I got fish that give me nightmares, man, from them damn tournaments.
Oh, I know. I had, I think it was one on Lake of the Ozarks. I probably needed one more fish to probably win the thing, and I drew Lawson Hibden that day, and he's hard to fish, but you know what I mean. He's not leaving you much.
No, I fished behind Dion on Kentucky Lake before.
Yeah, it's rough, you know what I mean. But that's just part of the co-angler deal,
Yeah, I've met Lawson a few times, all the boys for that matter, and they're all just like their dad. They're good people, man. Guido, Grandpa Hibden was the man, I mean, icon, and then Dion to win Classic and the Forest Wood Cup, it's amazing to even say that, what I mean, to win those things.
Absolutely.
The Forest Wood Cup, that's one thing that I just sad about when it comes to FLW and Major League Fishing and all that, is that it's still not there. It's like Forrest Wood was a pioneer, he was cool. Absolutely. I got a picture, I got an autographed Ranger picture with Forrest Wood, it's right around here somewhere. But no, Forrest Wood was, like Bill Dance. He's just, without him, bass fishing ain't what it is,
Yeah. One thing, Rob, on that little skitter worm.
Yeah.
I have this here. This is for the, I got a 3/4 and 1 ounce round ball jig head we do with that. The walleye guys just absolutely love this.
Oh, I can see that.
You know what I mean? They just, that March run on Detroit River. Yeah, it's just, it'll flat out catch them.
For sure. I like it. You can even put it on that little Ned head deep down for a smallie up north. Shoot.
Absolutely.
They would munch that thing. It's kind of reminiscent of a flat, what is it, the flatworms that everybody uses?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We're working on a color right now on that. We don't have it out yet. Is sort of a goby match and mango magic a little bit.
Man, I'm trying to think of what them little fish are called. They look like a goby, but they're native to streams and rivers and stuff. It's gonna bug me. I was trying to think of it yesterday. It's a weird name. I'll have to look it up. But let's just say there are goby-like fish in Table Rock and Taneycomo and all the rivers connecting them, because I've seen them.
Right.
And it's like people wonder why the hell they eat that Ned rig so good at Table Rock and all that. And I seen them little fish. I was running one of those kids derbies for the Coastal Series, like back in 17, I guess it was, or 18.
Yep.
I was running that little kids derby after on Saturday, and all the little kids were catching these little bitty fish that look just like a goby, but it's not a goby. Somebody could think of the name of them little fish. Tell me what it is. Like I said, it looks like a goby, but it's a little different. They're not invasive. Rob Wells, they eat the jig. You know that's right, buddy boy. You know that's right. Miss Miranda, how are you? Zach Gaddy, The Hunt for Larry Hoggins. Check out my buddy Zach. We are going to be doing some videos this year for sure. He has a YouTube channel, The Hunt for Larry Hoggins. He is local here to me in the St. Louis bi-state area here in Illinois. He catfishes the river. He bass fishes, catches big bass. They fish for fun all the time, and they have fun doing it. And we went catfishing. We tried to get a video last year. I went with them. We bank fished in Mississippi, and I didn't catch nothing, I think, but a gar and a drum and something else. So we never used that footage, but we want to go out. He's going to catch
the big blues.
Oh yeah, they've been catching big blues and channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach Gaddy is his name on here. If you go to his page, you'll see a bunch of big fish. And like I said, they
Right.
got a YouTube page on YouTube called The Hunt for Larry Hoggins, Hoggins. Mr. Tom Mix. I've been in the basement working on a new presentation on an older boat. Modified baits, buddy. Absolutely. Oh, you guys make jigs too, don't you, Razor?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We just launched our new swim jig out. Comes out in eighth, quarter, and 3/8. At the Collinsville show, this was really
Yeah, I'll say I
big,
seen that swim jig. I remember.
Yeah, it was a really big seller for us.
Yeah.
We don't get crazy. We have about 6 colors on it. You know, green pumpkin,
Yeah, I mean,
the white, the shad.
long as you got bluegill and you got shad, you know what I mean, and a
Yeah.
red one, that's really all you need.
Right, and then it's got the wire keeper in it.
Yeah.
You know, the wire, bait
Right.
keeper.
Yeah,
And
I was pre-fishing with Marcus Sikora a couple years back, and we were catching them pretty good. I mean, on swim jigs. I won't say what lake we were at or what time of year,
Yeah.
but we were fishing and we were shaking fish off left and right. I mean, just getting hammered around grass on them, swim jig, similar style head that you got there. And we were just shaking fish off after fish. I think I set the hook on maybe a fish that day, but I probably could have caught 20. I mean, it was one of them days when they were good fish
Right.
too. And so we go out into like an area that we're not even like targeting, like we're up and we go out and we're kind of in different colored water and we're just messing around really. And because at that point we had a pattern, so we're just checking other stuff. And he hits the trolling motor, and I had just made a bomb cast off the back of the boat. So he hits the trolling motor, starts going this way. My bait's all the way back that way. So I'm trying to get my bait, back, and something just hit it. And I didn't set the hook. It's just because the momentum of the boat. I was like, oh. And I told him, I said, man, I got one. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, it's big. And he's like, no. I said, no, it's big. I didn't know what I had. And I mean, it was so far out, it's hard to tell sometimes when it's 100 yards from the
Right.
boat. And so anyway, I set the hook, and after I couldn't get it off, it just jumps out of the water. It was like a 6.5 pound largemouth. Just jumps out of the water. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, you could see it from way off in the distance. You're like, oh, it's a giant. We get it all the way in. I said, man, I made a long cast. He hit the trolling motor and said, let's go. It's like, damn it.
We were, I was fishing with Marcus, pre-fishing, and we ran into a school of whites.
Yeah.
And we were catching them good. He's like, should we stay for a second? I'm like, yeah, let's give it a second. It was just fun. Like we were just catching them one after
Hell
another.
yeah. Hey.
Nice ones there on Grand Lake.
Yeah, especially if you already figured out the fish a little bit, go have some fun. Shoot, let's go catch some crappie.
Yeah, it was just
pre-fishing as a co-angler, man. I just want to fish for maybe a day, maybe two, and I'm just going to get out there and get confidence in a couple baits. And
absolutely.
A lot of the lakes, in the Toyotas, the Costas, the BFLs, like for 2 years before I jumped into the series, it was Lake of the Ozarks, Kentucky Lake, Table Rock, all these main lakes around here. And as soon as I jumped in there, we were just going back there every single year, same time of year. It's like, heck yeah, because you already know what you're going to throw, what you caught them in the past, just curveballs of weather and all that,
And the Toyota series going back to Kentucky Lake for the first time since about 2017.
It's coming back, y'all. Kentucky Lake is coming back. My thoughts on Kentucky Lake. Kentucky Lake is 2 hours from my doorstep. It is the closest big lake that I like to my house. It's closer than Lake of the Ozarks, even though, I've said coming up, the Lake of the Ozarks was my home lake. Well, I grew up fishing Lake of the Ozarks, every chance I could get, fun fishing. And then, fishing tournaments in my 20s and stuff, club tournaments there. But Kentucky Lake, I love that lake. I was completely heartbroken how that lake, shook out the past few years. But crazy part about it is the smallmouth have got giant, which is cool. But anyway, I just found it funny about Kentucky how down south of that lake, past Paris, there was grass. Lots of grass. You go down there and there would be shad in the fall time, all in the grass. If you wanted to go fun fish for largemouth, you go out there with the fluke, weightless fluke, and a spook, and any kind of topwater around that grass. Frogs, you could find little holes in the grass and pitch little crickets in there. It was just a blast, and you would catch 2 and 3 pounders like it was going out of style, and then bam, you'd hit a 5. Bam, you'd hit a 7. Kentucky Lake was crazy. The ledge fishing craze, I'll say, because there was only for a long time wasn't too many regional national guys that went there ledging like that. Guys got it, the locals and Lambert and Randy Haynes, and we got stories about them guys too.
Oh, absolutely.
I fished with them. Mark Rose, all these guys, Cole Floyd, new generation, guys that just became next level at that lake, and everybody was offshoring, because saying on that lake was if you beat the bank, you get beat. But there was grass down there. There was an insane amount of largemouth in the lake, insane amount of bait, insane amount of fish in general. Then the grass just magically disappears. Nobody claimed responsibility for killing it. Tennessee or Kentucky, conservation both said that they didn't do it, this and that. Well, grass just doesn't die in a lake like that, all of it, in 1 year. It just doesn't happen. And then, what was it, 3-4 years later, next thing you know, we have an influx of carp in the lake, and now there's no grass and all these carp, and there was so many. And the commercial fishermen have done a hell of a job with the lake, but it's starting to rebound now. But I mean, that was just heartbreaking for me. Like I said, 2 hours from my house, and whenever you fished these big tournaments on that lake with Mark Rose, Dion Hibden, I fished with Dion, Jason Lambert, Randy Haynes, the tournament that he quit, I fished with him the day before in the FLW tour, which was a trip. Cole Floyd, Brandon Hunter, Drew Boggs, Mark Rose. Like I said, Mark Rose. All these guys that I fished with that have a wealth of knowledge on that lake, I got to see how they caught them. Spots aside, I mean, most of the stuff is just textbook. Stuff that you just have to envision that it's a river. It is a river. Right. It's a dammed up river. So think about it being a river. Forget about the water that's up on the bank and look offshore. You find them. You'd find them.
That's the beauty of like Kentucky Lake, and it was that whole Tennessee group. I mean, you could just go on and on. Name Keith Amerson, Brandon Perkins, Kelly Riedheimer. These are all Tennessee guys. I mean, they could come up there and get it done. I think what'll be interesting for this Toyota Series in April, I really feel the locals will shine in this first Toyota Series back, just because I feel that there's a lot of the guys we haven't been there for a while. Mm-hmm. And so to figure out what these fish are doing or what they have been doing, I really expect to see the local guys shine in that Toyota Series in April. Be my guess.
Right. Yeah, when the water is cold there, it can be feast or famine on that lake, even when there was fish in it. More fish in it, I'll say. I mean, I jackpotted a BFL there as a co-angler years ago, and it was in March. And pre-fishing, I went down there, and I ran to an area of the lake, and I was catching them good. I mean, good for 2 days straight. And I shook off a ton of fish, looked at a couple of them. We're talking 5-pound class fish. And I knew where they were at, and I was going to go get them as long as, whoever I had it, hopefully he wasn't on nothing and wanted to drive. I had money in my pocket, going to give the guy a bunch of gas money to run. I mean, like, hey, we're taking out, we got to get out of here. We got to go. I'll give you money. The guy told me, he's like, oh, well, I think I got 15 pounds over yonder that I think I can get this and that. I'm like, all right, man, it's your boat. Let's roll, So I kept positive, and he took me to an area that I knew there would be no fish in. I mean, we weren't, the deepest part of the whole area he had us in was like 3-4 foot, maybe 5. I mean, he had us dirt shallow, and it was so cold, and I was like, oh no. And I just drug a jig and shaky head and got finessey with it all day and goose egg. And after that, I was just like, man, I'm done fishing BFLs as a co-angler.
Right. Well, and we know this, Rob, back when it was good, 15 pounds wasn't going to do you anything.
No, on the boater side, in that BFL, I want to say
top 50.
No, in that year, I want to say the BFL, it was 25 to win it.
That's what I'm saying.
I think top 10 were all 20 pounds, top 20 damn near.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just cold water, A-rig, jerk baiting, and, swim baiting, single swim baits. Don't sleep on them Kitech single swim baits, y'all, especially in the wintertime. A lot of people just want to go out there and chuck them umbrella rigs. I tell you now, when they're shying away from an umbrella rig, and I know you live scopers out there, you see them following your umbrella rig and you're changing it, making it smaller, changing the colors, or still not committing, throw a single swim bait. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. Ooh.
Here's our 3/8 ounce.
Ooh, that's cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
This will catch them. And we make it in 1/4 and 3/8 and table rock this. I mean, everywhere. They're just a great little bait.
Yeah. Let's see. Zach said, depending on the weather, you can usually have your 5 go-to baits and wreck the majority of lakes. Go find them. It's true. Until you get to them lakes that are just different. It's weird. Like, I follow tournaments, not religiously, but I pay attention to how guys catch them on certain lakes, especially lakes that I fish. I'm not religious, like watching tournament fishing all the time. I compete in it since I was a kid. I grew up watching it, Bassmasters and all that, but it's a little different when you're trying to do it. But it's just like you go to Lake of the Ozarks and catch them and just go an hour and a half from it and go to Table Rock and you have to throw completely different stuff. You know what I mean? So up north, them smallmouth predominant fisheries are completely different than fishing a swamp lake in Louisiana. You know what I mean? So different areas of the country, but the Midwest for the most part, Table Rock being, excluded and bull shoals and stuff like that. Most of them Ozark lakes. Yeah, you get a jig in your hand, you get a shaky head in your hand, you get a buzz bait in your hand, stuff like that. Alabama rig, you'll catch them. But where don't people catch them on Alabama rigs is what I want to know.
Absolutely.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah, I think the Alabama rig is I don't want to say it's fading, but it lost a little bit of its, you know what I mean? I would say
it is.
Compare it to like the Whopper Plopper when that first came out. They were just eating that thing. That bite is slowed down, but it's still a great bait to pick up in your hand, for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. Offshore game is a whole different world. Yeah, it is, Zach. And like I said, I grew up, a river rat, beating the bank, bashing around square bills on rocks and wood and slow rolling spinner baits and throwing a jig everywhere I could get it in. But when I started fishing the big derbies and seeing, really learning offshore, I watched it real time. People can watch all the YouTube videos they want, but go get in a boat for a day in a major tournament with Mark Rose or Jason Lambert and tell me you don't learn something about fishing offshore. Even Dion Hibden, we didn't have a very good tournament. His fish weren't really around, but I learned a lot from Dion that day.
Absolutely.
Not just catching them, but how people carry themselves. Then you just see the respect certain guys have, and guys that I grew up idolizing, Dion included. Guys that I grew up watching on TV, and then I got to fish with the guy. How cool is that?
No, it's awesome.
For sure. So yeah, I was looking at the BFL schedule. The LBL, that's the Land Between the Lakes division, for those of you who don't know, which is an area between Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lake down south in Tennessee, Kentucky. We got March 4th, Kentucky Moores Resort. March 25th, Kentucky Lake Moores Resort. April 15th, Kentucky Lake Moores Resort. May 6th, Kentucky Barkley Moores Resort. Then September 30th through the 1st of October, Kentucky Lake, Barkley, out of Paris. So for some reason, they're going out of Moores all the times and then Paris once. Kind of weird.
Back in the day, they went out of Moores a lot.
Yeah, Paris is cool though. I've always enjoyed staying down there. whenever they've had it. I mean, we had the championship out of Paris, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah,
Yes,
no.
I
Remember
think 2017 maybe it was down there.
No, we were talking about losing fish earlier. Oh my gosh, that championship. Day 2, I was hanging around. I was in striking distance. I think I was top 20s or 20th or something like that. And I just needed to go catch 5. It was a super tough tournament. I think I had maybe 6 or 7 keepers in 2 days. And I was right there. I mean, I wasn't but maybe a pound or 2 out of top 10 or something. And so I went out and drew a guy. He was a really cool dude. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it. But he was from California. So he was there for the championship, and he had never fished Kentucky before.
Right.
And he wanted to go to the area of the lake that I liked, that I was like, sweet, let's go. So we went, and he had a point that he caught him on earlier that week and basically said, we're going to go get on this point. We're going to camp out, and we're going to grind this thing out till these fish move up. I said, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm like, we could play bumper boats with everybody and go in a merry-go-round, or we could grind it out. Well, his point never did produce. It was noon and we didn't catch anything. So I'm like, hey, I got a spot down here, similar, but a little different, current's a little different, this and that. We go down there and we start catching them. Neither one of us have a fish. We start catching them. They weren't big, but biggest probably 3.5 pounds, good solid keepers.
Right.
But we were also catching a bunch of junk fish. And I was throwing my Kitech jig, not plugging a sponsor. Literally, I was throwing that jig. So I'm dragging a jig, and I catch 2 of them, and so he ties one on. Literally, the only boater that I've ever been with that had Kitech jigs too. He knew all about Kitech. The dude had a plethora of Kitech stuff in his boat, and I was really impressed actually, because most guys will have the swim baits, but that's about it. So anyway, he actually had some, and he started throwing it too. We start catching. Now I got 2, he's got 2, he's got 3, I got 2, and we got boats squeezing in on us where we can't even barely make a cast without hitting their boats, because we're at a bottleneck, and we're fishing one little area about not far from the bank, and we're casting up current, bringing it down current, and we got a guy coming up the bank this way, a guy coming up the bank that way, and it's like, geez, to where a co-angler from another boat casted literally 1 foot from me,
right
in front of our boat, dropped down, drug it quarter way back, and stuck a 3.5 pounder in my face. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. Yeah, I wasn't too happy. No, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Anyway, y'all. So the guy, we're getting squeezed on, and so we got to go. We got a far run back to weigh in, and we're almost out of time. Like, we're out of time. And so I got 4 in the box. He's got a limit for maybe 15 pounds or 16. And I think I might have 11, something like that, for 4. And so I fish and I hook one. But every time we were catching big fish, they were junk fish. Big drum, big, carp. It was, that kind of deal. We're in current. You're running that kind of thing. So anyway, I get it up, and he's like, is it a bass? And I'm like, I think so. And so it comes up, and when it came up like a rocket, like at me. And I kind of hesitated for a minute where I wasn't ripping back. Come up, it was a giant round one. A giant, like biggest one I would ever caught in my life. He grabs the net. I'm get the fish back. Everybody, we got around, 2 of them squeezed on us. I mean, I could have threw a sick of people in their head. So everybody's watching me. I get it up. He's got the net in the water. It jumps out of the water, does a backflip, and spits the jig right in my face, and then goes right back down, and we're out of time. Everybody just gasped. It was like not a fish story. Like, it was a giant bass. Oh, I was so heartbroken. And I was just out of cut. Yeah. I think I finished like 16th or something. I don't know. I don't even remember. I was heartbroken. That fish still gives me nightmares.
Yeah, it's tough. And that, like you say, them giant.
So Ray,
fishing St. Clair and Erie and the river, man, you catch some giant smallies. It's a lot of fun fishing up there in St. Clair.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure. I've never been up there, dude. I want to go so bad. I've been saying for like a smallmouth trip up north, just go catch the hell out of 4 or
It's
5 pounders
amazing.
and have the best time of my life.
We usually, I think the BFLs start usually in June.
So
I
the
think opening
major
weekend there in May would be
division
good.
for the Ozarks, yeah, yeah. Everybody says springtime's pretty crazy. So the Ozark division for the BFLs this year, we got February 25th. We got Table Rock. That should be a good tournament. March 25th at Lake of the Ozarks. That could be really good or tough. April 15th, Table Rock. May 6th, Table Rock. And they're all going out of Kimberling City. September 16th, 16th and the 17th is Lake of the Ozarks. So we got Table Rock 3 times and Lake O twice.
Yeah, it's a good schedule. I like it.
Yeah, I'm not objected to it. I know a lot of guys are probably going to yell about it because Truman's not in there, or any of the other lakes that could have probably did Bull Shoals, for that matter. I like it. I'm sure a lot of the Missouri guys probably have 5 lakes on their list they'd like to add to it. But
Right. Well, and typically they would throw in Grand every once in a while too.
yeah. No, I mean, I took 3rd place in a BFL there back in 16, I think it was, or 15 or 14. I don't know.
I think what's probably a little frustrating, Rob. I think with the off limits period with that Ozark BFL.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're fishing that Ozark BFL, you can't fish that Bass Open that's going to be on Lake of the Ozarks because you're in that off limits period. So it's going to take all the guys that want to fish that whole circuit.
Yeah.
They're not going to, they're going to have to make a choice. They're probably going to fish the Bass Open, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's rough. So we got the LBL, we got the Ozark, and then we have the Illini division. Everybody knows I don't really care for most of the Illinois lakes. There's a couple of them that you can catch fish in, that decent little fisheries. We all just wish in this state, we wish that our resources were managed better. That's what we wish. We wish that, the money that our industry brings in would actually be used for our industry. Sadly, that falls on deaf ears, and people don't really understand the magnitude of a 200 boat tournament coming to your community, to everybody in that community. They don't understand the money that brings into it. That's why a lot of these other states, I mean, that's why there's probably Table Rock 3 times on the Ozark division, because the people at Kimberling City, they want them there, and they're going to give the best concessions and the best, things that they can offer to Major League Fishing than Warsaw or whoever, Missouri.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
And it's a good facility there at Kimberling City. I mean,
oh yeah, Kimberling City.
You got Table cabins.
Table Rock's beautiful in general. I just love Table Rock. Right. I've had some of the most fun days ever in the history of ever fishing for fun on Table Rock.
Absolutely, it's a great lake. Yeah, it's fun for sure.
Yeah, I remember my first BFL there. I want to say it was like 14. Yeah, I caught big bass there, but then we came back to that year, Table Rock that year, and I was throwing a topwater, and I had like 30 spotted bass fighting over my chug bug, and they're popping it like 3 foot in the air, coming back down. They're all jumping out of the water after it, and then you catch one, you get it, a whole school comes with them, and they all swim away, and they won't eat nothing. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, Table Rock's fun, man. I've had blast.
Especially, I love jigging in the summertime. Mm-hmm. Them suspended spots on the docks with a jig and spoon. That's a lot of fun.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
Sure.
No, I got a couple buddies who live on the lake. I got another buddy who guides on the lake, and I see them fishing it all the time. Like, I would not be upset to live at Table Rock Lake.
No,
I would not be upset at all.
No, absolutely.
I just hope it doesn't. I hope it stays like it is, and it doesn't get too commercialized and developed. part of the allure of Table Rock is when you drive around that lake and there's no houses on it. It's just serene. Not saying Lake of the Ozarks ain't awesome either, but
no, it is.
There's very few places on Lake of the Ozarks that you could use the restroom off a boat and not have somebody staring at you. There's just not. There's people everywhere.
Well,
that's why we don't fish in.
That's what makes it rough. I mean, the best time of Lake of the Ozarks definitely is not June, July, and August. It's just too busy. And now, with the big boats, even September, October, it's pretty busy if the weather's nice. We have an event in October.
I mean, when I was young,
rain.
Lost you a little bit there. I don't know if it's my end or your end. It's cutting out just a little bit. So yeah, the Illini division, y'all. We Shelbyville. Then June 10th, we have Ren Lake. July 15th, we have Shelbyville again. August 2nd, we got the Ohio River at Paducah. Then September 23rd and 24th, we have Kentucky Lake. We're going out of the damn marina. So honestly, when it comes to an Illini schedule, I kind of like it compared to most years. I mean, Ren Lake is what it is. I think I can catch them with the best of them at Ren Lake. Yeah. Shelbyville is my type of lake. If they're eating a jig, I'm going to catch them. That's just all there is to it. And they like to eat a jig at Shelbyville. I haven't fished it a million times, but I've fished it quite a few times growing up. And I've never not went there and not caught fish. So I like that.
If you can move, if you
the Ohio
move off the bank at
River,
Shelby,
junk fish it up, baby. Junk fish it up.
If you move off that bank on Shelbyville, you can do pretty good.
And then, of course, Kentucky Lake in September.
That's their super, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Kentucky, yeah.
Should we
the regionals?
What should we come up with a giveaway?
All right. Should do one of your swim jigs. Do the new swim jig and do you some shaky heads or something along those lines.
We'll put a nice package together. I think I
actually have
this the other day. This is our spread. It's a really great little trailer for our bladed baits, our jutter jigs.
Yeah.
I think if we get anybody that'll come to let me know on the website the 4 colors we offer this in. First person to give us that answer will win a tackle pack. 4 colors we offer on the Razor Sprat.
4 colors. All right.
RazorCustomTackle.com if you need to look it up.
First person to say what colors the Razor Sprat.
Or just how many colors we offer.
Okay, yeah. Go to Razor Custom Tackle, look at the colors they offer, and whoever can name the colors is going to win some free merch from Razor Custom Tackle.
Absolutely.
I'll say, if not, I could pick a number between 1 and 20, and I wrote a number down on this pad right here.
Yep. Do that, Rob. That's easy.
All right. Everybody guess a number 1 through 20. First one, I hope that I get some responses on here so we could do this because I got a number picked out. It's on this pad. If you guess what's on the back of this pad, number between 1 and 20, you win some free tackle from Razor Custom Tackle. Tyler Boyette has number 6. 6 is not correct, sir.
How's your arm doing there, Tyler? I see you had a little work on it the other day.
Lee Booker has number 4. Andy Vance, number 12. Sorry, that is not the correct number. 1 through 20. 6, 4, and 12 are taken. Only one guess per. Adam Walters just won. Lucky number 13. There you
Good
go.
job, Adam.
Adam, get a hold of Mr. Ray, and he's got your back, homeboy. He's got you. So yeah, man. Check this out. I got this from my boat.
Oh,
Look at that.
that's awesome.
Shout out to the bass tank. This is getting ready to be installed on my boat this month, along with a whole bunch of other stuff we're doing to it. Been trying to fix it up for the past year, get a tournament ready. It's got a 200 old Johnson, Big Johnson on the back. I have a 96 Javelin, 19-footer, and she scoots. But I got this to go with it too. Look at that. Coming up with these kids. Can't have all these fellas.
Dialed in.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't want me to be very proficient at using a live scope. You don't want that. You just don't. Just saying.
So
I'm excited to play with it, honestly. I just want to put it on the boat, get the boat on the water, and just go around just playing with it.
What are you gonna end up fishing this year then?
I'm thinking the Illini's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last year I wanted to run my boat, had the tune of $10,000 in sponsorship dollars evaporate right before I was supposed to sign up for all my tournaments and fix my boat and all this. I'm doing new floor on it. Not the flooring, but carpet or the sea deck. I think I'm gonna do sea deck on it. I got carpet for it, but I can get the sea deck for a pretty good deal from a buddy of mine. Doing that, new seats, 2 grand.
Froze up there, Rob. You lose Rob here, I guess.
Right. My computer just completely froze.
Oh yeah, I saw it did.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I just
you.
had to bust my cell phone out. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, no, I got Charter for internet. My internet's fast. My computer screen did like a static, almost like a TV, but it looked different. And then it just shut down. My computer I've had for a long time, and I've never seen it do that. Let me see here. All right, good. Now it's saying it's updating my system.
Thank you, Lee.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So you guys are on my cell phone and not my fancy camera and all that good stuff. Let me turn this light back on though.
Yeah, there's the
Lee Booker said, Mr. Larson, I'll be checking out your baits this year, especially the sprats for my beloved chatterbaits. Dig it?
This is the fire right here. That's the
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to my computer. That thing ain't never done that before. The thing I just restarted it, I don't know, 30 minutes before I started this.
We
Say it was
we
updated.
offered this color for the first time at the show, Rob. I don't know if you saw it or not, but
See here.
this really went over big.
Table Rock is a fun lake. Ooh, there's the Toad Knocker.
All pink. They were flying off the shelves in Collinsville. People were asking for it, and they really bought it. They bought it.
Yeah, that's a good bait. I like
No
it
surprise, for
for
sure.
sure. Yeah, I
Um,
can't believe my computer just did that.
yeah, that's a bummer.
I can hear you
Soon,
now. I couldn't hear you for a minute.
soon as you held up that garment, it all went bad.
Yeah, yeah, guy, that might be a bad omen.
Oh yeah,
I held up a live scope up to my camera, and my whole
that's
computer
what I
just
think it
shit
is.
on me.
It's a live scope.
My live scope made my computer take a shit. Like, come on, guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is what you guys got me doing out here? Buying live scopes and crashing my computer? Unbelievable.
Well, it sounds like if you're going to go to the Illini division, I may have to jackpot one over there and just come fish an event with you there, so we can have some fun.
Hey, if you're gonna front deck or back deck, if you're on back deck, you can roll me.
Absolutely.
We'll take them boys' money.
Yeah.
If
No,
you
I like Rand. We got a good friend over there, Jason Johns. He's a heck of a crappie guy. And I love hooking up with Jason over there.
Oh yeah.
Are you familiar with him at all? Boneyard Outfitters.
No, not familiar with him, but uh yeah, it's crappie fishing on Ren Lake. I've caught a lot of fish on Ren Lake crappie
Yeah.
fishing.
No, it's a great crappie lake.
Yeah, no, I've caught a lot of fish bass fishing too. I've actually gone to Ren Lake crappie fishing, and the crappie fishing be slow, so just go bass fishing and catch the heck out of them. And then like you go out there and it's struggle bus bad, when summertime hits, and then you got a guy goes out there and cracks 20. You're like, how where the hell did you crack 20 at? You know what I mean? Sometimes you
Right.
scratch your head like, man, it's tough.
Yeah, I think there were some good weights this fall. Somebody weighed in, pretty good bet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Whenever that lake gets up, that there are some fish to be caught. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess the Illini. I don't know if I'll fish a full division this year. I mean, I may just jackpot some stuff too. I may
Yeah.
say I wanted to fish an LBL. Fish. I'm gonna try to fish the first Illini. That's for sure. I don't know if my boat's gonna be ready in February, so it would be tough for me to even try to make the LBL March 4th, boat wise, and all that.
Right.
So we'll see about that. Like I said, if I don't fish a full division, I won't be upset about it. But the Illini, um, I could make that. That's in May. I know I can make that tournament. And then, shoot, in all reality, I might as well buy into all of them in the Illini and fish at least three. Because then, worst comes to worst, I could fish the wild card.
Two. You only have to fish two.
Is it only two?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pay for all
I,
five.
I
Pay for
say
five.
that, but if I buy into a tournament, I'm fishing the damn tournament.
Well, absolutely.
you
But
know,
yeah, you might as well. You know what I mean? Just do it and be done with it.
right? I mean, in
Um,
all reality, it's about the same to fish a BFL close to my house in my boat than it is to travel and fish as a co-angler in the Toyota Series. Now I can
absolutely.
win a lot more as a co-angler in the Toyota Series. I can win a
Right.
brand new boat every tournament. This what first place is like 6 or 7 grand, I think,
Right.
for a BFL. But the entry fee $200 for a boater in the BFL versus 550, $600 for a co-angler in the Toyotas.
Yeah.
So
No, and even if you don't make them all that wild card, it gives you a good chance to get to the All American, which
yeah,
is
my first year fishing BFLs, it was a learning curve being a co-angler, and I finished just outside the cut to make a regional, and I fished a wild card on Kentucky Lake actually,
oh,
and I
did
think
you?
I had a top 20 and a big fish on day two or whatever. So that was cool.
Absolutely.
My first year fishing them, and then the next year I did make the regional, and I fished 7 years in the Toyotas, and I want to say I made the championship 6 times, or maybe it's six
Yeah.
years. I'd have to count. ever so long, it all kind of meshes together, all the tournaments. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I
do it
I
for so many
sort of
years.
jack I sort of jackpotted the Toyota Series last year because I couldn't make a full schedule, and that's the first year I haven't made the championship, and it sort of stings being
Yeah,
home watching it for
right.
sure. But it
Hey,
looks like I'm set for the fish the full schedule of the Plains, so hopefully I get back at it this year.
yeah,
Kicks
yeah.
off in Grand.
Hey, now if $20,000 of sponsorship dollars falls in my lap and I can just go fish the Toyotas, then so be it. I'm in the plains,
Right.
but it's I'm gonna crawl before I can walk, financially. Some of these guys, man, you'll see these guys hot and heavy in the tournament scene for a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and all of a sudden they just vanish. Well, it's because they spent all their money. you
Yep.
know, if
Yep.
you're coming out of your own pocket, you really got to be cognizant of what you're doing. Um, it is a form of gambling, whether anybody wants to say it is or not. You know,
Absolutely, it is.
now skill's involved, but it's also like playing poker. Okay, poker's
Yep.
gambling too, but skill is involved. I'm very good at poker. I'm also all right at fishing. So but whenever you're gambling your own money, gambling your time away from work, gambling time away from your family, it's tough, man. So those guys. That's also one thing. I see these guys out on tour. It's like, dude, I could never do that. Be away from my kids. Like, I just couldn't.
Right.
I'm like that.
No,
I leave for a Toyota. I'm gone for a week. Shit, I miss my kids. I just want to go see them.
no, it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Thank
got
you,
respect.
Adam. Adam was throwing the new Nano
Yeah,
down there. This is a little quarter ounce. We make this in quarter and eighth.
nice.
Um, this is Adam. I think he was down in Bull Shoals and just crushed him on it.
Really.
I'm not sure. I didn't see. I didn't get to see him much at the Collinsville show. Just real quick, we didn't get much of a chance to talk.
What you know, Mister Tom? Oh, hold on. I got a bunch. Rob, you gonna fish any Toyotas? I mean, maybe. Shoot, if I go fish a BFL and crack a BFL upside the head, I may jump in one. It's all money deal. Uh, that's one thing after a decade in fishing regional, semi-pro, AAA level tournaments as a co-angler. It's like I see what goes into it. You guys don't understand that most of these guys have so much damn money tied up in this. They could win 2, 3 tournaments that year and still not break even.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just lots of money. You know what I mean? Their truck, their rig cost more than anything they're going to win in the next 5 years put together. There's a lot of guys out there who donate. I don't
Yeah,
like
they
donating.
just try to follow their passion.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
oh yeah.
easy.
But hey, when it comes to this game, you got to be smart about it. Can't bite off more than you can chew. If you can financially do something and you want to go for it, go for it. If you might not be able to do it financially and you go for it, that's probably not a good decision. You know.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. My computer just finally turned back on. It said it was updating twice. That was the weirdest thing. That thing has never done that. Then again, I mean, I haven't used it a lot lately. I haven't used any of the software a lot lately. Trying to get back in it. And then technical difficulties. Why do I always have to have technical difficulties? I got to get this live scope off this table.
That'll be a head scratcher, I'm sure.
Right,
Getting dialed in with that.
right. Let's see here. All right, so that's the BFLs, Toyotas. Let's see. Well, this is just it's got Toyotas on. For those of you curious about the Toyota series, I'm gonna find that real quick. Okay. Yeah, so first place for BFLs is $6,000. If you got the Phoenix bonus, it's up to $7,000 bonus. And then for a co-angler, I believe it's $100 or $150 entry. It's $3,000 for first place. Okay.
Rob, I think somebody asked what Razor has to offer. What would be your number one suggestion to them? I know what my signature bait is for the company is.
Well, number one, it's made in America. Number two, it's made by a fisherman. Number three, the owners are good people. And four, I haven't seen anything you guys made that didn't look good. I mean,
Appreciate
and you
that,
keep
Rob.
and you keep adding baits every year. You're growing, stuff like that. I'd rather buy that than save $1 over some Chinese stuff any day.
This is probably our buzzbait probably really, that was probably always our big seller, but now we're getting into a little more of the shaky heads and jigs and stuff and
Right.
underspins. I know the Michigan guys really like this little riptide, just a bladed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like
You know,
that.
we
Very
got
much.
a guy up there, couple guys in Michigan that are throwing the heck out of this.
Really.
Smallies on that thing. That gives you a little idea of what that head looks like. Drop down, underspin. But probably if I was going to pick up one thing, Rob, it would be this.
Let's see here. There we go.
Little Ned Craw will catch him. Throw it out there and drag it.
Nice. All right. Well, I got my cell phone as a backup now, and my computer's back up and running. Jesus. Lee Booker says he's actually got one of those buzz baits you're holding up. The white has been slammed on the pond he lives next to. Absolutely. Can't go wrong with white.
Yeah,
Put up a
I like white, especially in the fall and the winter.
Adam Walters wants to see one of the shaky heads.
Let's see. So I'll rig that on the.
Nice. Let's see here.
It's a great bait. Lake of the Ozarks throwing on the corners of the docks. Half-ounce shaky head with the brush hog. That'll flat out catch him.
Dude, that was one of my secrets. I thought that was kind of my deal back in the day when everybody was skipping docks with their worms and throwing jigs and stuff. I would go down and I would get a baby brush hog and I would get a 1/4 ounce ball headed jig with a screw keeper and I would throw it around and catch the heck out of bass in between docks like them in betweeners, the ones that ain't holding on the docks, the ones that are moving,
No, absolutely. It just
Brush hog has to be
probably
one
the
of the
brush hog is it's a great bait. The baby brush hog.
yeah.
I
People
probably
got
caught
that's
more fish on the baby brush hog
me
than
too.
the big brush hog, but
I mean, the baby one. Since I was young, I mean, I've caught so many bass on that. Probably soft plastic wise, that's definitely my top bait numbers wise over the years is a big brush hog.
yeah, across the country, right? Everybody throws them. It sounds like Adam won the package, right? So I guess I'll throw a package of shaky heads in there for him.
Yeah, he says he wants to see see one of those shaky heads without a bait on it. He wants to see what he's getting in the mail.
The Ned Craws, we have them in green pumpkin, Okeechobee blue, black and blue. Just three basic colors on the Ned Craws, and with a watermelon also. And we have a summer craw. So I guess there's 5 colors in the Ned Craws.
Heck yeah.
That summer craw is really, it's that watermelon chartreuse. Rob, I don't know if you throw that much, but I really like that summer craw color.
Yeah. No, I've had them during the summertime. I throw them on jig trailers. Rage tail makes a good summer crawl. Yeah, we can see it. Nice little screw lock on there. Got some eyes on it. Powder coated, real durable. And it's got a flat side on the bottom, so whenever you throw your straight worm,
yeah, it'll stand right up.
It's gonna stand up. Nice.
So what pond are you fishing that jerkbait in? That, you know what I mean? Because I'm not sure I've ever thrown a jerkbait in a pond.
Well, I got a couple lakes that I believe were borrow pits back in the day that were when they were building the interstate system. And one of them, they're just two big bowls. One of them's about 70 foot deep, and it's got a little stain to the water. Uh, the watercolor really reminds me of Lake of the Ozarks. And then the other lake is 100 foot deep, and it's got standing timber in it, a few trees in it. They're 30, 40 foot tall, and it's 100 foot deep, big bowl, and it's clear, more like table rock. So it's weird because they're right next to each other, but they're like completely different lakes. But both lakes, ponds have everything that's in the Mississippi River in it. I mean, they literally have 3 pound gizzard shad, schools of them that swim around the lakes. They got gar, catfish, just everything, every 4 different kind of carp, and there's just an unbelievable amount of bait. I mean, in all reality, one of these ponds that I go to, that the one that's 100 foot deep, I bet it has as much water volume as Carlisle Lake. Carlisle Lake's not very deep. This thing is
Really?
deep. Yeah, I mean Carlisle 15 foot. You'll find a couple deep spots, but I'm exaggerating a little bit. But I'm just saying there's a lot of water in there that can hold a lot of life, and gin clear water too, so it's hard to catch them in that one lake. You gotta be smart because them big bass in there get real smart. They'll swim up to you on the bank and just look at you and laugh at you if you try to cast something at them. But yeah, I
Yeah,
go out there with
you
jerk baits, and it's right down the road from my house, so I
well,
go
I
down
figured
there
it
when
had to
I
be close because I know you
yeah,
hammer them.
yeah.
I
Let's
I
just
know
say,
Carter's usually out there in his cowboy boots and his shorts on the
yep.
shore.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now his little brother is the one rocking cowboy boots. Carter's getting too. Carter's got a pair of boots. He don't wear them all the time. For 3 years of his life, it was cowboy boots. Nothing. He didn't
Absolutely.
care. He didn't care what it was. He wanted his cowboy boots. And the funny thing is my oldest brother was the exact same way when he was a kid. For 3, 4 years of his life, he had cowboy boots and did not want to wear another pair of shoes. So,
No,
yeah,
it's a good look.
yeah, yeah. Especially when you're wearing some shorts with some cowboy boots. Oh, you're getting it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Adam, when it comes to bass fishing, Carlisle Lake's pretty damn tough. But if you want to go fun fishing for some wipers and catch some catfish, stuff like that, some white bass, I mean, even down below the dam, you catch some sauger, walleye. If you want to snag some giant Asian carp, you can snag them there at the dam. When I go to the dam, I usually just get some crappie jigs, and I'll tie them up, up the line, usually three of them, 2 or 3 of them, and cast it out, let it drift in the current. And if you feel anything, reel up, and either you just caught a fish or you snagged a 30-pound Asian carp. And whenever you have light tackle, that can be interesting.
Absolutely.
But you'll
Adam,
catch.
on that style of shaky head, that the lightest we do is 3/16. We do make a football with a flat bottom in an eighth, but with the eyes, it would be 3/16 up to a half.
Let's see here.
I'm a heavy guy. I'm throwing. I like throwing a half ounce a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure for about 10 years of my life, every single jig I had was all half ounce.
Yeah.
That's what happens whenever you're 15 to 20 years old and you just want to hit one in the head with a jig.
Yeah, absolutely.
I ain't got no time for something sinking. I need it on the bottom.
Right.
Need to get in that tree. But yeah, y'all. So I'm back in the saddle this year. I'm going to be more active, doing my lives. I'm going to try to bring in a bunch of guests. I was trying to do names for a podcast and everything last year. I had the Roughneck Fishing Show is what I settled on. I did like 6 episodes and kind of fizzled out. Like I said, last year I was just so dejected when I lost the sponsorship dollars and didn't have the money or the time to fix my boat up and all that. So I just focused on me and the kids and having fun again. So this year my boat's staring at me, buying things for it again. Got the itch to fish. I fished one tournament last year. That was the first Toyota. What was the Lake of the Ozarks? And the guy needed a partner, and he paid my deposit. So it only cost me $300 to jump in it. I was like, all right. I jumped in, and it was a suck fest. So I wasn't planning on fishing the toy or the as a co-angler in the Toyotas anyway. So
Right.
I was like, I'm not fishing the rest. I'm focusing on working and family.
You'll be back. It'll be good. It'll feel good to be back, I'm sure.
So you're going to do the Plains division this year and just kind of jackpot what you want?
I'm going to do all the Plains, and then we'll do a full circuit of the Michigan BFLs.
Yeah.
I got a little taste of that. I can't get that out of my system because
I get it. I see the results on the internet. Every time I see a tournament up there, I'm like, oh, I want to go.
Yeah. I mean, on the co-angler side, it takes 14 pounds to get the last check.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
And
I mean, it can be a little dicey with the the water. It can get a little rough.
Yeah.
But, risk versus reward, I guess. Right.
Right. Well, brother, man, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I got a couple things.
I appreciate you asking. That was great.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to get on here and talk fishing to people for a while, and I was like, hey, Ray, come on. So we'll have to have you back on again, especially when you start releasing some new baits and all that. Have you back on. We'll talk some fishing and update people on your season.
That sounds great, Rob. I appreciate it.
No worries, brother.
This year. We'll be talking to you.
And it's razorcustomtackle.com, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. razorcustomtackle.com. Again, this is Ray Larson. And you guys remember the name Razor because he's going to keep growing. He's doing it right. The packaging looks great. The baits are great. I actually, one note at the fishing show, I seen a guy down there who does CNCing. He had a bunch of molds out there, and he was by the Brush Hog booth. And yeah, I think he told me if you had just any design of a bait, a sketch, for $400, he would design the bait and produce you a mold. I thought that was pretty damn cool. I was like, shoot, yeah, $400, $500 for your own design mold. That's pretty legit because I only have about 17 different soft plastics that I've thought about over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that might be something to explore here in the future, and maybe Ray will have to talk about possibly getting one of those Rob Crane signature jigs because you know what they say. A wise man once told me that they eat the jig.
They eat the jig, Rob.
All right. Well, y'all have a blessed night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Adam, Lee, Zach, Tom. Let's see who else we got commented in here. We got Tyler. Let's see. Andy, Lee. Probably repeating names. But everybody that tuned in, thank you for watching. Your boy Rob is back. Ray, thank you for coming. Everybody have a blessed night, and we are signing out.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rob. We'll see you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Let's see here. And then we'll even do a banner. Here we go. Wrong one. You could tell I haven't used this program for a while. Have to learn it all over again. Don't touch it for 6 months. Bam! RazorCustomTackle.com. Y'all check them out. Not sponsored by Razor, but Razor's a good buddy of mine. Like I said, we've been competitors for a long time. Good people. Check them out. Support small business. Buy USA, baby. Later.